Hoo boy, I love me some internet drama, especially when it doesn't involve me. Alright, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to some Modern Warfare 2. I know, this game is washed. Shut up about it. I didn't have room to reinstall Black Ops Cold War, fuck off. I think you'll forgive the gameplay though, because today we're talking about the big drama surrounding Faze Clan. Well, I say big drama, I mean it's honestly kind of just sad. It's funny, but it is definitely kind of sad. So yeah, if you have no idea about this drama, buckle up, it's gonna be a fun one. And if you do already know about the drama, then prepare yourself for some goofy commentary you definitely didn't ask for. Also, before we get started here, make sure you leave a like if you do enjoy the video, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And hopefully nobody from Faze ends up seeing this video so they don't have to put up with my completely uneducated takes. So if you have absolutely no idea about any of this, which to be honest is probably a good thing, allow me to set the stage for you. A few days ago, Faze Clan posted this tweet saying, "We want more women in Faze Clan." Now that in and of itself isn't like a problematic statement or anything like that. If anything, it's a good thing. I mean, it can be pretty tough out there for women trying to get into esports. I think anybody with a brain in their head probably understands that. So, you know, you'd think it'd be a good thing that a big org like Faze is going out of its way to try and get more women in, right? But things started getting a little bit spicy when Rain commented on the original tweet, spoiling who it was going to be, and alleging that the only reason she was even being picked as far as management was concerned was not because of her content creation presence or her gaming skills or anything like that. It was because she appeared on an episode of Stranger Things. And essentially he implied that, you know, the only reason she was getting in was to have that sort of like brand connection, I guess. You know, Stranger Things is a big show and all that stuff. Now fast forward a couple of days and it turns out that Rain's prediction was completely accurate. And while Faze obviously didn't come out and say, hey, we only picked this person up because they were in Stranger Things, I think it's pretty obvious they wouldn't do that. You know, it got the internet kind of debating. Is what Rain said accurate? Did they really only pick her up because she was in Stranger Things? And, you know, has the brand essentially completely abandoned anything resembling gaming content creators at this point? You know, people were comparing it to things like them picking up Bronny James and stuff. And all of this obviously wasn't helped by the fact that Faze isn't really doing the best PR-wise at this point. Now, I do want to interject here quickly and just say, I feel really bad for this girl. Granted, I don't really know anything about her, so take this with a grain of salt, but what the fuck? But yeah, I did read somewhere that apparently she's a Valorant streamer, and I guess she has, I don't know, some kind of following, so like, she's not somebody who's just famous for being on one episode of Stranger Things, you know what I mean? Like, at least in my mind, it's not the same as them, you know, signing like Snoop Dogg, for example, where it's very clear that he's only in for the celebrity connect and nothing else. And, you know, obviously she didn't ask for any of this, right? Like, you know, at the very, very minimum, I'm sure it was just, you know, her management or whoever brought this in front of her and was like, hey, this might be a good idea for you. Or, I mean, who knows? You know, maybe she's somebody who's been a fan of Faze for a really long time, and this was actually like a goal of hers. I mean, we don't know. Or at the very least, I don't know. I mean, maybe other people know better than me. Now, a lot of people were quick to point out that regardless of the reasoning or how different people feel about it, it is a bit of a bizarre pickup, especially in the wake of their tweet about wanting more women in Faze Clan. The main reason people are citing being that, you know, if they wanted more women in Faze Clan, there were a whole bunch of very well qualified female gamers and streamers and such that made it pretty far into the whole Phase 1 challenge that happened a little while back, that for all intents and purposes didn't even get a look. And this is kind of why a lot of people are lending credence to the whole theory that she's literally only in because she was on Stranger Things, because it's like, well, if they wanted female gamers, they had a whole freaking roster of them that competed for Phase 1 that they could have chosen from, and instead they decided to go with this, like, actress or whatever, right? Now, regardless of whether or not that's true, it is a little bit strange. And again, all of this being exacerbated by the fact that Faze's PR is really not in a great spot at the moment. And I'm not gonna lie, watching this debate unfold on Twitter has been honestly one of the highlights of my week. I understand I shouldn't feel this good about watching internet drama occur, but it's kind of been a fun little change of pace, because I mean, I don't know if people follow the VTuber community at all, but there's all this shit going around about people saying slurs and stuff. Honestly, some of the most depressing time on the internet, so seeing something like this has been nice and refreshing, I think. At least for me. I mean, I'm really not much of a participator in drama stuff. I'm more of a, you know, front row spectator. I like to sit there with my popcorn and watch other people argue about shit that doesn't matter. And the argument ended up going even further than this, because there ended up being a whole other thing with Santana. And before I start showing them, I have to apologize for the quality of some of these tweets. I had to take them from like screenshots and stuff, because a fair few of these ended up getting deleted after the fact. What the fuck is happening here? Hello? I love this game. But yeah, so Santana posted a, I'm assuming well-meaning tweet at first, basically saying, you know, he was disappointed about the hate that the new recruit was getting, you know, especially from like women in the gaming community, because there were a lot of women that were like upset about this as well. Like, it wasn't just a bunch of men hating. There were men, women, probably several people who identify as neither. Everybody was shitting on Faze for this, right? And basically he was just, I think, trying to show solidarity, which, you know, that's totally fair. I mean, new recruit comes to your team, you know, regardless of whether or not they're a corporate pickup or, you know, they're actually actually being picked up for their gaming, you still want to, you know, stick up for them. You don't want to see them getting just random flack on Twitter for no fucking reason. Makes sense. But where things started getting complicated, and this was honestly fucking hilarious, somebody replied to him basically saying, like, you're not an OG member, your opinion is irrelevant or whatever. Essentially saying that because he's not, you know, one of Rain, Banks, Adapt, or any of those guys, he essentially isn't allowed to have a take on the topic. And his ill thought out reply to this was, where are these guys now? Or something to that effect. I don't have the tweets in front of me, so I'm not like reading them verbatim, but that was essentially what he was trying to say. It was like, you know, what the hell are they doing? What have they been doing? And then all of a sudden, just all the OG members popped out of the woodwork to shit on this guy. It's the funniest thing I have ever seen in my life. Banks popped out, tempurr popped out, Rain popped out. Oh my god, it was hilarious. Like, all of them just came together at once to shit on this guy. It was so fucking funny. And then Banks brought up the, you know, very real point that's been being discussed a lot lately about, you know, Faze being yanked out from under the original members, and it's a bunch of suits making decisions, and the OGs have kind of been like cut out from the decision-making process. Oh, and actually, I forgot to mention this. Even fucking Censor, of all people, ended up getting in on this shit, dude. Like, I don't feel any particular way about Censor. I know a lot of people in the COD community do, but I will say this is one of probably his absolute highlights in life, I think. Because out of everybody, like, you know, Santana didn't bother to clap back at the OGs, I don't think, but he tried to clap back at Censor, said something like, didn't you drop 4 kills on LAN or something like that? And Censor immediately claps back with, actually, hold on, I gotta read this shit. He says, yeah, I've also dropped 5 in a match, 7 in a pickup game too, but I also won the first 2 ever championships for Faze and 2 more outside of Faze. What was your contribution to Faze that makes you feel you could disrespect the people who paved the way for you to make a career? Like, dude just ended this guy's entire existence in one tweet. It was amazing. Like, Censor, buddy, if you ever see this clip, bro, I'm here clapping for you, man. That was fucking amazing. So yeah, that's the extent of the drama. It's been pretty entertaining, I'm not gonna lie. Although, like I said at the beginning, it's also a little sad. I mean, you know, the fact that this is sort of the level that Faze has fallen to as a brand at this point. Because I think the main crux of the issue, right, is the first tweet. Them saying, hey, we want more women in Faze Clan, you know? Because, like, straight up, if they just announced the signing without that first tweet, I'm 90% sure none of this happens, right? Like, it's the whole, oh, we want women in Faze Clan, and then just, well, no, actually, we only want celebrity women in Faze Clan. That's kind of the thing people are taking issue with. It's not the fact that they signed a woman, it's the specific woman that they ended up signing, right? Dude, what is this team doing? They're all like, what is happening, dude? What happened to this game? This is completely unrelated, but I remember at the beginning of the year when I said that this was gonna end up being a faster-paced Modern Warfare 2019. Yeah, very funny past me. I'm a fucking idiot. Anyway, now would probably be a good time for me to add the disclaimer that I've shit on Faze Clan left, right, and center over the years. I've made multiple videos about stuff that they've done at this point, and like, I stand by everything I said. I'm not like, you know, taking any of it back as far as me feeling bad about some of this stuff, but I will say, like, especially as far as like the OG members go, I do feel bad about like what's happened to this team that they tried to build, you know? Like, even though, yes, definitionally it is their fault, like, the people pointing out that the OG members did sell the team and, you know, they're the ones who invited the business people in to do all this shit, like, yes, definitionally it is their fault. However, the story of people in suits coming into esports, waving a bunch of money in front of 21, 22-year-olds who don't know any better, promising them the world and then just buying everything out from underneath them and bringing in their friends to make a quick buck, that is a tale as old as time in esports, and it never gets less sucky. So, on that level, I definitely feel for Faze, right? At least as far as the OG members go. I mean, the business management side, pretty sure most, if not all of them, can just go fuck themselves. But it is kind of sad because at this point, I think it's pretty clear that Faze as a brand is being run by people right now that have absolutely no idea what it should be or what it wants to be. And granted, I've been saying for years that I think Faze kind of lost its way. I mean, I've been saying that for way longer than these, like, suits have been in the game, you know what I mean? Like, I thought they lost their way back when they started doing all that vlogging shit instead of Call of Duty and other gaming stuff, and started doing all, like, the clickbait goofiness, you know, taking baths and jello for views or whatever. And I still stand by those comments, but while I didn't like the direction of the team, the direction was still there. The members had a vision. They had a content outlook that they wanted to act on, and they executed on it, right? They knew what they wanted Faze to be, and they made it that way. And regardless of whether or not I liked what Faze was becoming, it was still achieving the members' creative vision. But honestly, now I have absolutely no idea what that vision's supposed to be. I mean, they do shit like, you know, sign Snoop Dogg and Bronny James. What have those guys done for the team since they've been in it? And like, I know people were criticizing Nick Merckx because of Rain's video about him, but in all honesty, at the very least, he's somewhat representative of the Faze brand, you know? Like, at least he is a gamer. At least he kind of, you know, reps what Faze is. Like, the thing I've never understood about the whole, you know, Snoop Dogg thing or the Bronny James thing is like, what do they bring to the table? I'm pretty sure Snoop Dogg hasn't been in a single video since he was like announced or whatever. And I know Bronny's been in some content here and there, but it's like, again, what does a signing like that really do for Faze outside of the initial hype? Like, what, is he gonna start repping Faze when he goes to his college knowledge games now, or what? So yeah, it's pretty clear that Faze is kind of directionless. Obviously, a lot of that has to do with the suits. I'm not, definitely not blaming the OGs for that one as far as like the decision making. As far as how Faze got to this point, that's another matter entirely. I mean, we can talk about that all fucking day long, but the reality is that where it is now kind of sucks. But yeah, like I said, I do definitely feel bad for the OGs. I mean, all the other stuff that's gone on over the years aside, I definitely can sympathize with feeling like something that you spent your whole life building up has just been kind of yanked out from under you, I know Banks said he was like working on getting the team back. I have actually no idea how that's gonna work. I don't know like the business shit behind this, or even if it's possible. Oh, so by the way, as a side note, what was Santana like kind of trashing all the OGs and shit? Aren't they technically his boss? Like, I know it's not an org in the traditional sense anymore, but can't they just like kick him for that? Maybe? I don't know. I mean, I guess if he's under contract, they really can't, but I don't know. I think that would be absolutely fucking hilarious if they did that. Anyway, that's about it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed my completely uneducated rambling on this topic, and if anybody important from Faze actually does end up seeing this, I'm sorry. I'm just an idiot who makes videos on the internet. Please don't get too mad at me. And yeah, I think that about wraps up everything I wanted to say. As always, if you did enjoy this video, definitely make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you want to come back for more content. That's about it. I'll see you guys in the next one.